Hello!
It's
One Piece. Fucking phenomenal chapter this week. Everything I love about One Piece. Everything I love about One Piece was in this. World building, godly. I loved seeing, I'm going to get right into it. I loved seeing how they get up the red line. You know what I mean? Because, like, do you remember back, well, first of all, first thing I do want to give is a shout out to Teshu. One of our first fans, to him and Saber Nightmare, one of our first fans to actually join our Discord, and we've been having great conversations with them about all the manga we discuss over there. Thurman finally found a buddy that doesn't hate Black Clover, so it's a beautiful thing. Thanks, dude. We appreciate it and love you. You too, Saber Nightmare. So moving on to the chapter. I fucking loved. So Thurman, do you remember back during? Say again.
The new Marine Fort.
Oh fuck it. Well, here, first thing I want to mention is, do you remember back when they first, like it was right before the time skip when they got to Sabaody Archipelago, and I don't remember who told Frankie this, but someone told Frankie like, hey, there's only two ways to get to the New World. The first one is the official way, but you have to leave your ship behind. You can't take your ship with you, and the only way to take your ship with you is to get it coated and go under Fisherman Island. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Now we know why. Now we know why you can't take your ship with you, because you got to go up these gondola things. This is the only official, and plus, obviously, you'd have to go through Marie Joie, which would never fucking fly with the Straw Hats, obviously. So I loved finding that out. But yeah, so going more in order, first thing we see, New Marine Ford is so vindicative of...
Can we
Go ahead.
I had to stare at that shit for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, me too. So first of all, this is so vindicative. This design is so vindicative of Akainu, right? Because like, remember the old Marine Ford? It was a lot more feudal Japan looking. Do you remember that? Like it had like a lot more of a feudal Japan aesthetic. You remember that?
Yeah.
This one straight up looks like a fucking like fort. Like this is like way more like this is for fighting and attacking and stuff, which is so, Akainu had something to do with building this. Because Sengoku, it was like a lot more chill of a dude.
It's just looking around. I really like how Oda did so much attention to detail to this fortress. It's just like,
oh, it's sexy.
Oh
this
God.
entire and can we talk about how fucking huge it is? Look at the ships compared to it.
I know. Oh my God,
it's huge.
That is a fucking fortress upon fortress, man. That is insane.
And sometime in the future of this series, there's going to be another fucking war, and it's probably going to be destroyed. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, also, so did you fear? So there was a lot of people making fun of the arches in the background. Now the arches are supposed to be like the their little symbol. It's like supposed to be like a seagull.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are calling those the McDonald's arches.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I thought, honestly, I was just like, I thought those were supposed to be like the giant doors in the back.
No. Those are. It looks like they're just arches. There are like little buildings on top of them, which makes me curious what those. I'm assuming they're just lookouts. But like,
like watchtowers. Like that.
They do kind of look like the McDonald's arches. So a lot of people are like, the Marines now sponsored by McDonald's. It even makes So that's fucking great. But yeah, and then I do like the little map here in the corner, because you remember that was kind of something that Akainu did. He was like one of his first orders was like, fuck, because the other the old Marines were terrified of the Yonko. They didn't dare fuck with the Yonko. Akainu, as kind of like a political move, was like, we're moving Marineford right into the New World, right into the entrance of the New World, as like a big fuck you to the pirates, to show that we're not afraid of them. It's like a political move,
I see, because the old Marineford was in the back, now it's in the front.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was fucking cool as well. Now, moving on, a couple things, and Thurman, I'm gonna guess you didn't notice this, because you never do. Just like you didn't notice how Asta grabbed that sword today. Thanks to Teshu for fucking schooling him on that one. The Marine that's talking to him here is the fucking Marine from the Sea Train back in the Water 7 arc.
Oh, I probably didn't remember.
I immediately know. Here. So I want to show. I'm going to send you this on Facebook here. I immediately noticed that. Like I was like, oh my God, it's him. Like that's the guy from the Sea Train. Like here. So I just sent you him, and then him from the Sea Train back in the CP9 arc in your Facebook. It's the guy that
Checking.
Yeah. And remember, he got abandoned, like in the middle of the fucking ocean, and so he was just on the tracks, like, and then remember, like, they just ran into him and shit, like.
Oh,
yep.
He was one of those running, like, oh, that guy. Oh.
Yeah, that's him.
I didn't recognize him because I saw the anime and his face is like kind of different in the manga.
But yeah, so me too, by the way, Thurman. I only read the anime up until the Punk Hazard arc. Yeah, I only watched the anime up until the Punk Hazard arc. Sorry, I'm distracted by watching you horribly fail at making this drink. David's just trying to make a mixed drink and spilling all over the place in the background here.
Hey, I'm working inside of a little launch here. I'm not standing in a bar like I'm used to, okay?
Yeah. So, but yeah, that is him, and I just think that's kind of... I love that Oda reuses his, like... Because Oda has such a huge cast, and it would have been so easy to just, like, make a generic Marine be saying this, but I love that it's the dude from Water 7. That's just really neat. I think that's cool. And I also love how he's like, hey...
He's the one who cut the Sea King, right?
Yes, he's good memory on that one. Yeah, he cut a Sea King in half. Yeah, I know. David's like, he remembered something? Yeah, he's the one that cut a Sea King in half, and Zora was like, holy shit, there's a guy up here who can cut Sea Kings in half. And then, but unfortunately, it was a sea train, so they just ran him over. Kind of similar to when Beige ran over Oven, actually, in this recent arc. Oh yeah. So I do, but I love this, how he's just like, and I was curious about this too. So Fujitora comes up to Marijois, even though Sakazuki was like, no, you're not allowed to come to any marine place until, he said marine base, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And I do like, and this is actually a good point. He's like, technically, this isn't a marine threshold because this is a city. This is a city for the Celestial Dragons. This is not actually, because he's not at Marine Ford. He's up in Marijois, the Holy Land. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So he's not actually at the base. Yeah. He went up to where the Celestial Dragons live, which technically is not a marine thing. So technically,
yeah, I mean, it's a technical. Akanu was like,
well, it's like, semantics clearly, but I mean, he's doing one of those like technically, and I'm glad because fucking Fujitora is like, fuck you, like Fujitora's main thing right now is he wants to abolish the Seven Warlord system. And if he can't show up at Reverie, there's no chance of him doing that. So of course Fujitora is gonna be like, fuck that shit. I am coming here because he wants to and I'm fully on his side for that as well too. I am fully on his side for abolishing the Seven Warlord system because it is obviously horrible. Like, how many Seven Warlords have either failed them horribly or betrayed them horribly? How many have they swapped in and out and in and out and in and out?
I don't remember, but has the Seven Warlord system ever been explained? Like, has Oda ever explained what the significance of it was?
Yes. Back in Arlong. The Seven Warlords are paid off pirates. It's essentially pirates who, instead of fighting them, the pirates will go to them and be like, hey, we'll allow you to continue being pirates on 2 conditions. Condition number 1 is that we get half of the revenue you make. And condition number 2 is whenever we want you to fight for us, you have to fight for us. So it's essentially like, it'd be like if our government, and they probably do, knowing our government, but it'd be like if our government went to like a terrorist organization and was like, hey, we'll pay you, you can keep being terrorists as long as you don't terrorize our country, or something like that, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's essentially, that it's very corrupt. It's the Marines allowing pirates to be pirates, given that they fight for the Marines and they give some of their money to them. Because remember, remember that one guy from the early on in the Arlong arc? He had the mouse whiskers. You remember in Nami's arc?
It's been a long time.
Okay, well, anyway, luckily I remember things. He has speed, but I have comprehension. The guy with the mouse whiskers, he was really early on in One Piece. He came up to Arlong, and they were talking about the deal. And basically, what it is he comes, he takes like 50% or so of his of Arlong's money that he gets from being a pirate, and then gives it to the government. And then that's how it's basically paying off the government to be allowed to continue to be a pirate.
Okay.
And then the other caveat is, remember, like they call the Seven Warlords to Marineford when they wanted extra manpower. So it was explained to be kind of like an experiment by the world government as like a, hey, instead of fighting all these pirates, why don't we pay a couple to be on our side, and then we have people on the pirates' side on our side. You know?
So basically, it's kind of like I don't know what that word is, but essentially, an enemy of my enemy's friend type deal.
Because I'm pretty sure Crocodile was one too, if I'm remembering correctly.
Luffy gave him the smackdown.
Yeah. Well, because so Crocodile was one, Gecko Moria was one. They're not chased by the Marines. Because remember, that was a big thing with Doflamingo in the Dressrosa arc. He was allowed to just have his country. You remember how he just sat in Dressrosa and he ruled it. You want and the Marines never tried to come in and stop him, even though he literally went in there and took over a kingdom. The Marines never tried to stop him because he was a warlord.
Yep.
So yeah, and remember that was the big thing when Law was like trying to force him into an ultimatum to resign from the warlords, because if he were to resign from the warlords, then the Marines would come after him. Yeah. So remember that's why Fujitora showed up. He resigned from the warlords, immediately an admiral showed up. You know?
Yeah.
So that's just your little quick refresher on what the point of warlords are. But yeah, so Fujitora wants to get rid of them because he's seen what it's done, especially in Dressrosa. You saw what Doflamingo did to that town, you know what I mean? That was because they allowed Doflamingo to do all that. They never tried to stop him. It's corruption at the highest degree. It's like Doflamingo giving them part of his revenue, and the Marines turn a blind eye. That is such corruption. They let people die. They let people's lives be tortured for that. So Fujitora, being an actual good Marine, he says, well, this is fucked up. And you remember that very famous scene when he bows down and apologizes for the government at the end of Dressrosa. You remember that scene?
Yeah.
That was what pissed off Akainu, because Akainu is one of those, like, oh, the world government, they're perfect. They've never done anything bad. You know what I mean? So when Fujitora knelt down and apologized, because it was kind of like there was a good parallel between that and Alabasta. Because back in Alabasta, you had Smoker, who they tried to give Smoker the credit for taking down Crocodile. And they did. They swept Luffy taking down Crocodile under the rug and gave it to Smoker. They tried to do, I don't know if you remember, they tried to do the same thing with Fujitora in this arc. They tried to say, oh, Fujitora took down Doflamingo, but Fujitora refused. He was like, no, fuck that shit. We fucked up. The government, the Marines fucked up. So that was where it differed there, because Fujitora bowed down to the people and said this was the government's fault.
Deep One Piece lore, man.
Mm-hmm. So that's what's happening here. He's up here to try to abolish the Seven Warlord system, and we'll talk about that more later. So also we have, they foreshadow that Green Ball is going to be here, and we'll get into Green Ball a bit later. So I want to talk about, so the bubble gondola things. I really love this scene because it's so cool. Well, because like, I've wondered for so long how they legally, how what the normal way of getting up the red line is. Because you know, I don't know if you know One Piece geography very well, Thurman, but like one of the reasons that like you can't just, because you know Oda had to explain, well, why would you go across a straight line in the Grand Line if you why not just turn around and go the other way? You know what I mean? Like they make it like it's a straight line, like you have to go through all these islands. And I remember my first question was like, well, why can't he just like the Earth is a globe? He could just go the other way and get there quicker, right? And the way Oda makes this work is because there are huge like continents, huge mountains in like a line formation. It's just like a natural wall, you know? And they don't have technology to the point where they're able to fly over it in this universe. So that's why there's just like that's why it's a line, you know?
Because I don't know if Oda officially released it or a fan made it, but there's like there's
maps,
One Piece world map. Yeah, there's an actual like world One Piece map of like every island, and
like,
you
see how like
the
separate lines they make like a cross, and that's why you have North Blue, East Blue, South Blue, West Blue, because the blues are separated into by the lines, and then you have the calm belt that traps people in the Grand Line.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting the geography there, which I think is very interesting. How Oda does that?
This is world building is. I have never seen better world building than One Piece. It is and always will be king of world building. So like, but yeah, no, I love the way that they're able to get up. I love the return of the mangrove trees. You remember the bubble trees from Sabaody? That's so cool to see that too, because like, who would have thought when that arc first started, Sabaody Archipelago. That arc is so fucking important. To this day, there's shit from that arc. Like, it's nuts. So that was cool to see. So we have to let's talk about the elephant in the room, Thurman. The incredibly racist stereotype kings that Oda introduces.
each name is like different from like a drink or like a food. So it's a beer V. You have King Hamburger, Queen Marumono, which is like I guess it's a treat in Japan, and then you have King Taco.
Yeah, let's talk about the taco guy.
I really want to know if in the Viz translation if its actual name is Tacos or if it's something else.
Well, so here's what's interesting, right? This just once again proves that there is significantly less SJWs in Japan, apparently, because like this would never fly in America ever. This is why I love Oda. Don't give a fuck, man. Oda's like I want to have an island of cross dressers. I don't know about that, Oda. Fuck you, it's happening. I want to have a man named King Tacos, who's the most Mexican motherfucker. He's wearing a poncho. He's got a cactus hat. It's insane. Like I respect Oda for fucking not backing down, man. Like,
Oda is the fucking king. King Tacos, man. From the Shishano Kingdom. I thought it said Chicano Kingdom for a second. I swear I thought it did. Somewhere. I was like, oh my god, Oda's bold as hell.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was like, because these characters to me seem like just like filler like kingdoms, just to show that there's a lot of kingdoms. I don't think they're going to be important. I highly doubt it.
Yeah, neither do I, to be honest. They're not going to be too important. Mm-hmm. They'll probably have like one or two lines once the reverie starts, but other than that, they won't be in it. Like, we'll forget them after like 2 pages. I gotta be honest, like, I don't think it was necessary. In the grand scheme of things, if I was Oda, I wouldn't have done it, but I do appreciate someone who doesn't give a fuck. I've always appreciated that I don't give a fuck style, so if you want it, sure, go ahead, man. I gotta say, I don't understand why he did that. It does seem a bit weird, but, hey, maybe he had tacos, and that was the first thing that went his mind. He's like, I had tacos, so King Tacos. That's how it works.
But yeah, so that's strange.
You know, Oda had beer, he had a hamburger, and he had a rice street, and he had a rice cake, and then he had tacos.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just not a lot to say about it. It's just that page threw me the fuck off. Now let's talk about. Goddamn, I forgot how attractive Shirahoshi was.
Remember, she's on protect status.
Bro. There are people fucking hard-eyesing over her in the chapter. I can hard-eyes over her, okay? And by the way, when it comes to fucking wanting to lewd shit, I'm the least out of everyone on this channel, okay? I am very... My default is protect, and then it moves to whatever the other one would be called after many, many consensual dates of, like, going to the park. I do not.
Are you calling me a pervert?
Yeah.
Did you indirectly call me and David?
Thurman, I don't lewd immediately, man. Lewding comes later, okay?
So also, what you're saying is you didn't say no to that. So
I'm just saying.
You heard it here first. Brad indirectly called me and David perverts.
Yes, I did.
Good pervert.
But
pervert.
also,
good pervert.
It was cool to see Shirahoshi and the Fishman, but what it was better to see was Monkey D. Garp.
My boy.
Garp. Fucking boy. I love Garp. God, I love him. He's so fucking. Look at him. Oh, I love him. Oh, he's so great. Okay, so couple things to talk about.
I can hear his laugh through the pages.
Oh, it's
every
so
time
good.
He laughs, I can hear it.
So, a couple things to talk about with Garp. Number one is, well, first of all, Mr. Big News Morgan. He wants to lewd. He wants to lewd her, so, you know. I mean, look at that face. So, I also like this line where that, Shirahoshi, like, in terms of, like, people who, like, lust for her or find her beautiful is on the same level as, like, Hancock, so that's interesting. But what I do love is, I'm trying to find the part where... Yeah, okay. So do you remember in the Fishman Island arc where they were talking... Well, Luffy was talking about, like, a forest and what a forest is to... So do you remember in the Fishman Island arc when... that was a whole thing, like, I want to see a real forest up there and stuff like that, right? I love that she's like, oh my god, is that the famous forest I hear you have? And I can remember how you said you could hear Garp's laugh? I can hear Garp saying that, like, no, that's just a single tree. But, like, he'd be, like, crunching on stuff, like, no, that's a tree.
But that was an adorable moment for her, though.
I love her,
that
dude.
triggered my dad side in me, you know.
Thurman, you don't have a dad side. You'll never have a dad side. You do not have a dad
I will.
side. Thurman, are you planning on having a kid?
Yes, I will.
Oh
eventually.
My God! Confirmed. Thurman wants to have a kid.
Don't.
Good luck. You have to find a woman willing to procreate with you first. And given your Tinder status. Hey, Thurman, want to share your Tinder name on the One Piece discussion? Anyone is interested?
Tinder has been deleted until further notice.
Oh, Thurman gave up on Tinder.
I'm on Plenty of Fish. If you want to add me on Plenty of Fish.
Negative 20 fucking decibels right now. Hold on. I've been at negative. Don't worry, I'll boost myself. I'll have to go in and boost myself. But that was at negative 20 for a second.
When you were doing this, you were still.
Anyway.
Okay,
the
hold on.
Daddy side.
Okay, how long do you think that was like that for?
Probably the entirety of the cut period.
Okay, well, I'll fix it. All right, keep going. Go ahead.
It's just like you have like a little niece or cousin or daughter or son, and she's just asking these innocent questions, and it's just like,
oh yeah,
protect.
Dorbs.
Always protect.
But no, what I love too is that she calls Garp Luffy's grandpa, which totally means that they had a discussion about all the shit Luffy did on Fishman Island. Like they talked about it. Like, and then Luffy fucking punched a giant boat that was about to crash into our island, and then he jumped on my breasts like they were trampolines. It was crazy. Because he did do that. Garp's like, good for my son, getting the action. You're my grandson.
Oh my fucking God.
And he said, dude, oh my God.
Oh, well, you remember who this is, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is Sabo's adopted brother, Stelly, who was a fuckface back then and a fuckface now.
Oh, my God. Oh, and Garp's reaction to that.
Garp's fucking entire everything he says to Stelly is fucking fabulous. Like, who's this little shit? Like everything he does, and then we have of course, big news talking about how everyone from Goa is a fucking freak. And I loved it was cool seeing little kids Sabo, Ace, and Luffy again. Rest in peace, Ace. Also the part where it's like, oh, by the way, Sabo's parents are confirmed dead.
Good.
Yeah, they were assholes, but like that Stelly fucking either killed or hired someone to kill his parents so he would become king faster.
Suspicious death of the king.
Yeah.
That kind of got me thinking like,
oh, it's obvious, 100% obvious he killed them. Yeah. But I like how, again, I don't think Stelly understands how being a celestial dragon works, because you can't just be You can't just be fucking nominated to be a celestial dragon. Like, you have to be like pure bloodline down to the fucking founders of the world government. So like, I like how he's just like to a monger like, you fat chits. And then he's like, oh wait, I shouldn't say, like, he remembered that he shouldn't talk shit to the nobles. Garp's just fucking fantastic. Now this is where he started to really piss me off, right? King Neptune actually being a bro, helping him fucking up, being a nice person, and then he goes all racism on him, of course.
We don't fuck with racist people.
Oh yeah, oh, he's gonna get his, dude, he's gonna get the shit. He's gonna get his shit kicked in.
Hope Sabo puts that hole up his ass.
Yeah, so moving back over to, first of all, this fucking double page spread where they're looking at the sun is beautiful.
I know. Oh my God.
Oh, and remember, do remember that this is Shirahoshi's first time at the surface. Like, this is her first time. Yeah. So I mean, this is a huge moment for her.
You could tell Oda had a really fun time making this chapter. Just from everything. Like, you could see that he kind of like brought out like the special red pen for this one.
Not only that, so that, and also remember too that like the only sunlight they get down there is the sun filtered through like that tree.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is the first time she's like getting real undiluted sunlight too. So it's just really cool for her. That's awesome. I thought that was a beautiful moment.
One thing I want to note is how she says like she wants everyone to live up here. and like that's what we're up here for.
Well, remember that was what her mom wanted, Otahime.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
well, because that was, I don't know if you remember, that was the whole reason that they wanted her to go to the Reverie. She was really scared, but they convinced her because like they were like, we're going to make our plea at the Reverie this year to officially allow the fishmen to migrate up. Remember, because right now it's still like it's still like frowned upon for fishmen to live with humans. Mm-hmm. So like they're trying at the Reverie, they're going to try to like make Otahime's like the late Otahime's dream come true by going up to the Reverie. That's how they convinced Shirahoshi to go up there, because they were like, it's what your mom would have wanted, which is why I think it's going to backfire, because I think at some point the government's going to find out that Shirahoshi is Neptune, the weapon, or is it Neptune, and I feel like they're going to find out that Shirahoshi is the weapon, and then the government's going to pull a whole like fucking Order 66 on the fishmen and just take fucking Shirahoshi.
Red is, it's Poseidon.
Fuck. Which one's Neptune? No, that's King Neptune. My bad. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, her seeing it's so sweet that she's it's so nice. Okay. So let's talk about Green Bull. And everything that so this is the other admiral that's been hyped up for a long time. And so a couple things to talk about. Number one is, first of all, I love this whole, like, I'm not here to destroy Marie-Joie. I'm not here to destroy Marie-Joie. I'm here to destroy a system. And this is interesting. He talks about Vegapunk. So he didn't see Vegapunk himself, but he saw an invention of Vegapunk's. And apparently, according to Fujitora here, Vegapunk's invention is so crazy that they'll definitely never need the Warlord system again.
Yeah, I was just like, wow. So I'm really happy they mentioned Vegapunk too, because
Oda's been mentioning Vegapunk a fuckload lately. So like, I feel like he's gonna show up soon.
I hope he's at the Reverie. I really wanted to see what this band looked like.
So, well, here's what I'm thinking, right? So, in order to say what he just said, whatever Vegapunk invented has to be at least of the level of power of all of the entire combat force of the Warlords combined.
So do you think it's like a new PX?
My honest guess is that it's going to be the completed, perfected version of the Pacifista.
Or because he was trying to make, or was Vegapunk still trying to make artificial devil fruits, or was that?
That was never a thing that Vegapunk. I think that he dabbled in it, but it was more Caesar that actually continued with that research.
Oh, okay. I feel like Vegapunk tried that at some point. I
think I'm trying to remember. I thought that like I just don't. I think it was something that he dabbled in, but it didn't really interest him very much. And he stopped with it because the main things that we know that he made were like he's made like laser technology. He's fed devil fruits to inanimate objects. So I mean, I personally think. I'm excited to see, I think, because remember, when the Pacifista first showed up, they clarified that these were like prototype, beta, barely even finished things. And these prototype, beta, barely even finished things wiped a fucking pre-time skip Straw Hat team. Think about that. No, really, think about that.
Oh, it's
fucking
impressive.
like the barely finished, not fully done. So like if they make Pacifista that are like whatever this perfected version of a Pacifista is, I expect it to be at least approaching Admiral level. Just this one row.
I mean, maybe he made because if you recall, spoiler, that someone high up ordered Gokumario's death, right? So maybe he.
It was the Gorosei, the 5 elders that you see occasionally.
Yeah, so maybe Vegapunk is creating. Maybe he created like robotic versions of like
that would
one
be.
Of the,
I don't know. That'd be a bit cheesy, I think.
Or maybe he was able to. I mean, it's a long stretch, but maybe he was able to officially import devil fruit abilities from different warlords and then put them into one robot, and you have like.
No, I don't think it's going to be something that's like emulating the war, because the warlords, who the warlords are, is not what's important. They can be any pirates. That's why they switch out all the time. It's like, oh, now it's Law, now it's Buggy. You know, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be something emulating the warlords. I can almost guarantee you that. It's going to be some sort of weapon, because their biggest fear in getting rid of the warlord system was that it would leave them weak, because that's a part of their powers. You know what I mean? That's a part of the might of the military. So I think it's going to be something either like the perfected pacifista, or maybe they'll invent some sort of like imagine if, because the only flying machine we've seen in the entirety of the series so far is Eneru's Maxim. What if they invented like an actual flying machine and the Marines could have an air force? That would hugely give them a huge advantage. And I gotta be transparent here. I did take this theory from Teching 101's video. That is something that he thought about first, but I think that's a great idea.
Give people their credit, Brad.
I just did. That's why I did it.
We're not Thomas Jefferson here.
Okay, that's why I did it. That'd be like if you were like. Bro, that'd be like if you made me a fucking sandwich, or you brought me a sandwich, and you were like, "Hey, I didn't make this sandwich. I just brought it from my mom. My mom made it for you." And I'd be like, "Give credit to your mom, you fuckface." It's like, no, you just said it. Chill. I said it.
That's why the chemistry goes so well.
Also, now when I meet your mom, telling her to make me a sandwich. I'm kidding. She would fucking kill me. I'm kidding. Goddamn, I'm kidding. I'm scared. I don't even know your mom, but I'm scared of her.
Who are you more scared of, though, for the channel? His sister or his mom?
I'm more scared of his mom. His sister seems chill. I don't know much about his mom. All I know about his mom is that one time where you were like, "I want you to be as strong, independent women," or something, and then I was like, "What?"
What?
Remember that? I was like, what are you talking about? He just like he didn't mute his fucking Discord call, and he was like talking to his mom, and we were like, what is he saying right now?
I wish I was recording this.
Yeah. But, fucking it. But no, so yeah. So Vegapunk made something cool. I think it's either going to be perfected pacifista or some sort of weapon that will help. I don't know. It's going to be something like that, I think. But what I do want to talk about is the fact that Green Bull hasn't eaten in 3 years. 3 years. Dave. Yeah, what do you think about that?
This man is. So if
I have a theory, but I'll let you talk about it. You say your shit first.
He's probably doing the little the thing that Luffy and the dude from.
That's not a bad theory. I have a different one, but I'm curious. That is not bad.
So maybe he has the ability to, because if he hasn't eaten for 3 years, so I assume he's like perfected that type of, because Oda did officially say that's an ability, right? So yes. Maybe he's like perfected it, and he can like control like his body,
slow down his metabolism to a fucking ridiculous rate. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be kind of
okay, so that's actually not a bad theory, and I would be totally cool if it was that. I do have one other theory. So you know how every admiral has a color, and that color kind of like goes with their power scheme? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm having a hard time keeping it in my head. Sorry. So you have Kizaru is yellow and he has light. Akainu is the red dog and he has lava. Fucking Akui. I can't fucking speak. Aokiji, jeez. He's the blue pheasant, I believe, or was that the yellow pheasant? He's blue something. I don't know. Blue something, and he's ice. And then fucking Fujitora is purple something, and I guess I think his gravity waves are purple. I don't know. Hold on, bro. I was still talking. So Green Bull, a lot of people are actually assuming that he's going to have some sort of plant-related devil fruit. So I'm kind of under the assumption that he might be able to do photosynthesis, like legitimately get all the nutrition he needs just from sunlight. And notice that the first time we see him, he's like lounging in a sun chair.
Oh, so he's Superman.
Well, in a very loose sense.
He's a hippie.
But I mean, so I could see, but I could see either of those being the case. I like your idea, but I could also see it being he has plant-like properties where he just can.
I mean, I like that too.
So I'm okay with either one of those ideas. Yeah.
I like the plant one because I mean, what other ability goes towards the green, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd think, right? Like, yeah. I'm trying to think.
There's not
unless it was like maybe. No, yeah, I can't think. I can think of. I think like green toxic sludge, a la Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, poison. I mean, poison.
But we just had a poison person with Reiju.
Right. We already have like 2 poison characters, so I mean, like green, because green technically can relate to toxins, but we already have.
We just had Reiju with the poison. I think it's gonna be. I do see plant, but now that you see,
I mean, I would like plant.
But I also want more. I also want more from that fucking like that thing that Kumadori could do from I can't remember what Life Return I think is what it's called. I love that technique, so I would like more from that, but it probably is gonna be the plant thing.
So this got me thinking. So if he is like plant, because once you said that, kind of got me thinking about Usopp, how most of
he shoots like plant shit now. Yeah,
the plant stuff.
They'd fight.
So I'm thinking like, could Oda essentially make a Green Bull like Usopp's like fight, like because you know how like Luffy gets like the main villain, then Sanji, Zoro gets like the second strongest, and Sanji gets like the third. What if like Oda like switched it up, right, and gave Usopp like someone who's like Usopp fights like the third strongest, something like that.
I do feel like Usopp's gonna raise up in the because think about it right now. The only members of the crew that have haki are Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp. Like Usopp's gonna start rising in power in the crew. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna be like part of the weak trio anymore now that he has fucking haki.
Fuck Wano being Zoro's arc. Wano's Usopp's arc.
No, Elbath is gonna be Usopp's arc. You know for a fact Elbath, because they're gonna go to Elbath and it's gonna be Usopp's arc.
Oda's getting all hyped up about Zoro finally showing off his true power. He's like, nah, fam.
Zoro's like, hold on, I'm about to go serious, and then Usopp steps in like, I got this.
Usopp just solos Kaido today.
GG Kaido, fucking God Usopp is here. You know what you need to die? A god.
Oh
fucking
man,
phenomenal.
New joke. God Usopp at the end of every chapter.
But that is the legitimate like thing that I am excited to see in Wano. Usopp kind of testing out his haki more because he knows he has it and he's like, what the fuck was that? I'd like to see him like experimenting with that more. But yeah, Green Bull's fascinating. I'm excited to see him. I like his personality too. His personality, like he seems like a real like jivey, like hey kind of guy.
He's a hippie.
Hey, bring me a hot babe and I'll eat. Hey, I don't know why I'm giving. He's Fonzie. He's Fonzie. That's what he is.
The Fawn.
I wonder how many of our fans know about Happy Days. You gotta know. Happy Days. Monday, Tuesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. I think I skipped a day and they're happy days.
Weekend comes.
Why do we know about that show? These days are okay.
Mom watches very, very.
We cut to Kamabaka Kingdom for like 2 panels where we see that, and I think we've seen this before, but I do like this. Even the fish around there are cross-dressers, so good for them. Good for them.
They were able to come out.
Look at this fish, David.
What the fuck?
It's you know what? Alex Jones was right. The water around Kamabaka Kingdom is turning the sea creatures gay.
God, he went there.
The water at Kamabaka Kingdom, it's turning the frogs gay. We gotta stop Eva.
Sometimes memes are just too damn good.
It worked. Now, I love this conversation that Koala has with her, because this is something that I've been saying for a while. The entirety of the world government is not evil. Like, you have people like Smoker, Kobia, Kiji. You know, it's the Celestial. It truly is who leads them, and that's how it is with all of it. Like look at America. We go into fucking horrible wars just for money and oil, but it's not the soldiers' fault. They're just being ordered. They're fucking pieces on a chessboard. You know what I mean? You always have to take out the fucking corrupt leadership, and that is the Celestial Dragons. It's the spoiled fucks that basically rule the world with just what they want.
Iron.
What?
With an iron fist.
Yeah. So Yeah, that works better. I mean, but they rule the world in accordance of like just what makes there's it's the entire world is ruled by spoiled brats. That's all they are. They're like, hey, we need money for all of our bullshit, so take half of all the country's money. We want women, so take all the dudes' wives. We want slaves, so even though that's one of my favorite examples of fucked upness. Slavery is technically illegal. In the world of One Piece, remember, they made it illegal. By law, it's illegal, but they still do it, because the Celestial Dragon is like this awkward thing where it's like, well, fuck, we made it illegal, but the Celestial Dragons still want slaves. So they still do it, even though it's technically supposed to be illegal, you know? Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah. So I love that Koala's like, no. Like, I love the fishmen, but so we're not like we're not taking out their chance to live with people. We're not taking out the entire world government. We're just gonna go in there and swoop out the fucking Celestial Dragons. And again, from I think Tekking had a great thought here. It's basically like the ideal thing right here is to swoop in, take out the Celestial Dragons, and just assume the role of commander underground with no one knowing. You know what I mean? Like a quiet, they're going to go for a quiet revolution, I think, rather than a loud one. Because unless they're able to, but if they do a loud revolution, they have to make it very clear to the people that the world government is not the enemy, the Celestial Dragons are the enemy. Mm-hmm. So that'll be interesting. But so this is fucking great. So a couple things. So I'm sure everyone noticed the whole a giant just peeked out of the cliff holding a harpoon. That's clearly Morley from last chapter.
I didn't get that till just now.
Thurman, I'm glad. I appreciate your honesty. So I won't diss you too bad because you're honest about how you didn't get that. But how? What did you think? You thought he's just fucking? Oh my god. Breathe, Red. Go ahead, Thurman. Defend yourself.
Nah, nothing really to defend. I was just like a giant. Like I just passed it off. I didn't really comprehend.
This is, bro. When I don't get a line, I don't just keep reading. I stay on that page until I get it. I rethink about it over and over again until I get it.
That's the power of speed
versus comprehension. Wow.
Shirt, by the way.
What? Oh yeah, that's got to be a shirt at some point. So
the first of our merchandise.
Yeah, just to give because I don't think our fans know the context of that because that was on a private Rabbit session. I read manga slow, but I get everything. As you can see in these videos, Thurman forgets shit and I don't. So at one point I said, "Listen, Thurman, you may have speed, but I have comprehension," and Thurman loves it. Thurman really loves it.
So now that's the running. Our running gag.
But what I was gonna say, and this is sad, Thurman, because I was going to say this because I figured I was literally gonna be like, well, obviously everyone knew that was. I was gonna be like, well, that one was obvious, but there's an even more subtle one that I didn't get originally. So, but I guess you didn't get the obvious one either. Do you want to know what the more subtle one was?
Yeah, let me know.
The wind is strong. And rocking their boat. What follows Dragon everywhere he goes?
Oh, the weather. Oh.
So the wind's strong, the giants appearing, the crows are appearing. You at least got the crows, right?
Yeah, I got the crows.
Okay.
Once I saw the crows, I was just like, oh, okay. Then they infiltrated.
But the wind though, I think that's a hint that Dragon's with them. I really do.
Yeah.
Oh, this is getting hype, dude. Like, this is hype as shit. So, let's see here. So, the crows, and I like how Shirahoshi's like, oh, cool, birds, because she hasn't seen them. But fucking the reveal. Sabo's in! He's in! Thurman.
So, I'm assuming how their infiltration is going to work is because
I told you, it's stealth. They're stealthing in.
Because majority of the Revolutionary Army is still in Kama.
Well, yeah, it's just like I said, right? So it's just like I said earlier. I don't think this is not going to be their big like. They're not doing the war right now. They're declaring war. You know what I mean?
So I feel like it's gonna be just like people who are good at infiltration, like the Crow guy,
yep.
Harpoon. Sabo, and then Dragon.
Dragon himself's got to be there. The leader of your revolution's got to be there to declare war.
So it's like 4 or 5 people there. I feel like maybe Ivanko's there too, possibly.
I hope. I love him so much. Please. Oh my god.
Can't they hide someone in their hair, right?
Yeah, they've done that before.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe dragons in his
dragons in Eva's hair. Can you imagine like this like really? He's supposed to be like this really serious character that everyone's like super intimidating. He just pops out this purple afro. Hey, pops out of the purple afro. I declare war on you.
That'd be lit.
That's the fucking moment. The highest moments of One Piece. Robin screaming, "I want to live." Nami telling Luffy, "Please help me." And Dragon popping out of Eva's afro saying, "I declare war." But yeah, no, I mean, either way, it's neat because so this basically what this confirms to me, considering the rest of them are still back at Kamabaka, I think that this entire mission is going to be twofold. One, to gather intel, because it's I think before they declare war, when they're up there and they're still secret, they might listen in on the reverie, see what they're talking about, get all the intel they need, and then right at the end of it, I feel like they're going to be like, by the way, so it's going to be fucking cool. And but I don't think, just like we said, the war is not happening now. Oda has foreshadowed a war that's going to happen in this series, and it's going to be at the end of the series. So this is the declaration, I feel, and it's going to be awesome.
Going to be hype.
Yes. So, predictions, my man.
All right. So, first prediction is we're gonna. Okay. So I'm hoping I feel like we're gonna see Ivanko, maybe because I feel like because I don't know if this was stated, but I feel like they're like the second, like not kind of like the second.
Well, Sabo's apparently the second in command.
Well, I always consider Sabo like his like his.
No, that's what they call him, the second in command of the Revolutionary Army. They've called him that in the manga many times. Thurman's mind is blown.
Like, well, I knew they called him that, but I didn't necessarily like. I've always thought that they meant he was like kind of like, you know how there's always like a commander, and then there's like the one dude who has.
You see what this is, folks? You see what this is, folks? This is denial at its finest. This is why you can have people still this is why you have people believing that they're turning the frogs gay in the water, okay? It's because a fact can be stated, like a fact, undeniable, and people will be like, well, that undeniable fact that I read, I always took it like this. That this is where denial stems. You're seeing it in its action right now.
Not denial. I said I always thought about.
Even though Oda wrote, Sabo is the second in command of the Revolutionary Army, I always took it as the thing that I wanted it to be.
That's not denial, though.
Oda's like, fucking, you remember that? Okay, you watch the Boondocks, right? The part where it's like, read! It's like, Sabo, second in command! And you're like, nah, I never thought, no, fucking, come on, man.
It's misunderstanding. Not really denial.
It could not have been more, like 3-4 every time they mention Sabo, second in command of the Revolutionary Army. Not of Dragon, not of Eva, not of some random other fuck. That's what the wording is.
I mean,
Dude, the denial is strong.
Oda could have put a Togachi and use wordplay. Anyway,
what are you the denial, man. Get out of here.
I'm not denial.
Pure denial. Pure headcanon.
So
pure
Sabo
cancer.
is second in command, right?
Yes.
So the other second in command, Ivanko.
I was trying to find Eva's rank. I don't know if they've ever given him a rank. It, them, it, there, that. I don't. Pronouns. Bro, fucking Eva will be called by the last gender that I saw Eva be. Okay?
Alright.
So, last gender was he. It's a he for now. If he turns into a girl in this arc, he will be called a she. That is fair. Only, not because I'm a bigot, not because I'm a bad guy, but because I don't think I've ever met anyone in my entire life to this point that has asked me to be called they. Okay? It's just, I'm not used to it. Don't be mad at me. Okay? If it was a real life person that I had to worry about hurting their feelings, I would call them they. But this is a fucking fictional character. He's a drawing. So just for the sake of not every 5 seconds in this discussion being like, oh, I mean this, it's gonna be a he until it's a she.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
So,
no, okay. So the wiki. Hold on. The wiki lists Eva as it's one of the officers of the Revolutionary Army. So I assume Eva's semi high up, but it doesn't seem like he's like second in command like Sabo.
Okay. Well, so essentially, I feel like he's gonna be there because I feel like he's a very trustworthy like infiltrator. Hell, he was in what's that shit called for the longest. So I mean, he'll be there. I feel like we're gonna see because I don't know how many people are at the Reverie yet because the Reverie hasn't started yet. Like last chapter said the Reverie was like in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I think a day then. I'm not sure. So I feel like we're gonna get like a few more people arriving soon.
I think we're gonna get a bunch of like from the different like this chapter was from the perspective of Shirahoshi. I feel like with the next chapter we might see Vivi, Dalton, Kureha, Wapol, like them all arriving. I would love to see that.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna get that. As in,
I want to see my girl Kureha. Okay, Dr. Kureha is one of my favorite characters in this entire series, and she's from fucking like Drum Island, like chapter like 100 and something, like real early shit. Do you remember who Dr. Kureha is, or do I gotta fucking tell you?
Yeah, just fucking tell me.
Oh my god. Alright. Dr. Kureha was the doctor that taught Chopper how to be... Well, okay, there was the guy that taught Chopper how to be a doctor. He died, and then the woman doctor that took him in.
Oh, her.
The witch doctor. I love her. She's fucking... Hashtag never forget 2 moments with Kureha that I gotta re-bring up. Moment number 1 is when they're about to fight Wapol. Okay, Sanji, Luffy, they're taking on Wapol together, and Chopper. Sanji, Luffy, Chopper are taking on Wapol together, and as he's coming up, Sanji looks back to Kureha, this 140-year-old woman, and Sanji's like, are you gonna fight too? Because she was just standing there with him. She's like, are you gonna fight too? And Kureha's like, only if you can't handle it, sweetheart. And then she walks back, so implying that she's a fucking badass and could fight Wapol, which... So that's number 1. Number 2, backing up the badassery. When Luffy, I don't remember what Luffy did to piss her off, but I remember Luffy pissed her off at one point. She started chasing them around with a whole handful of weapons, and she was like Hitman style, chucking axes and firing bazookas at them. So yeah, she's a badass, and I love her.
Okay. So I mean,
do you remember her?
My prediction is going to be fairly short. I feel like we're going to get more people. I don't know if the Reverie is going to start next chapter, but maybe the one after.
I think a couple more arrivals.
I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to see how where they're going to have the Reverie like in, like it's going to be like a Coliseum or like a.
We know what the Reverie's held in. We saw the Reverie 4 years ago during BV's flashback.
Oh, we did.
Oh God. Thing number 4 that Thurman has forgotten in this one video alone.
Whatever. I'm a forgetful person.
I was like, he's like, I wonder what the Reverie's going to be held in. And I'm like, we saw it in BV's flashback. And he's like, oh, we did? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, that's my...
Jesus.
You're fucking pathetic. Fucking pathetic, Thurman. It's just like a fucking like hall with a table. I'll show you.
Okay.
Remember that was when we because it was the flashback when Vivi met Wapol for the first time as a kid, mm-hmm. And Wapol tried to start like a war between their countries by slapping Vivi at the Reverie. Remember?
Yeah.
Do you actually remember? Or are you just saying yeah?
I'm just saying yeah.
I appreciate your honesty.
He admitted he was just saying
yeah. He's like, I'm just saying yeah. That happened. Look up Vivi's flashback. The original one with Wapol. But yeah, so that happened. I'll send it to you after the video. But yeah, so I want to see Wapol again because Wapol's also a hilarious character. And Wapol and fucking Dalton's reunion's gonna be interesting because Dalton's the one that basically took the country over from Wapol. And we also had I always think of the flashback with when Dalton was one of Wapol's like top security guys, and Hiralik blew himself up, and Dalton was crying about it because he saw that Hiralik was a great man and he actually meant well, and Wapol tricked and killed him. And I remember Dalton was crying, and Wapple was like, "What are you crying for, Dalton?" So there's this like awkward tension between them because Dalton served Wapple, but he fucking hated him. So now that Dalton is a king of his own, and Wapple made his own other kingdom somewhere else, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's good for this video. We're almost hitting an hour. Oh, there is a couple minutes to cut out because Thurman fucked off for a couple minutes there. But yeah, peace out. Love y'all, etc., etc.
Deuces, Ningen.